Let's get more on this. We're joined by our senior reporter, Celestina Iria, from the nation's capital. Celestina, tell us what has changed with DSS asking for quick dispensation of justice over the suspects of 2011 US building bombing.
Well, Precious, the DSS is trying to ensure that the delays that this case had suffered in time past does not repeat itself. This case was filed in 2017, and this is 2025. This is years gone down, and the delay has been from one reason to another due to the fact that some of the judges that handle this case either retire or they're either promoted to a higher court. And when they retire or they are promoted, this case starts de novo, which is it starts afresh from the beginning. So far, Justice Emeka Awete, who is currently handling this case now, is the fourth judge that is handling this case. And what the counsel to the DSS did today, who is prosecuting this case, asked that the video recording to prove that the extrajudicial statements, which are the statements made by the defendants when they were being interviewed by the DSS, were made voluntarily. They were not coerced or made under duress. And we are at the stage of what we call the trial within trial, which is the defendants had accused that, alleged rather, that their statements were not made voluntarily. So the court now is trying to find out the facts of their allegations. So the DSS is to call their third prosecution witness, who was to speak to video recordings, which will be played, we ought to have been played in court, showing where the defendants were tendering their statement. But because of the length of the videos and the quantity, the senior advocate of Nigeria, Alex Iria, who is handling the case, said they have about 19 video recordings, and so far they've been able to watch just 4. So in order not to delay the proceedings any further, he asked the court that the court should grant an application where both the defendant and the prosecution would find out time to sit down and watch the videos in the presence of the court registrar, and notes will be taken, after which they will come back to the court and the judge himself will watch the video all through without them, lawyers and defendants, interjecting. So that is the position of the court, which the case right now, which the court granted and adjourned. And also, we've also seen different trials coming up, and this pertaining to terrorism cases, unlike before when we have terrorism cases staying. Yesterday, the DSS arraigned some suspects that were arrested this year, and they took their plea yesterday on 32-count charge. And these persons were also alleged to be Ansarun commanders. And in the process of the charge, one of the defendants pleaded guilty to one of the charges. And in that charge, he was to be sentenced to life imprisonment, which was the provisions of law as respects to the charge, which had to do with illegal mining. If you look at Section 8B of the Miscellaneous Acts of the LFN. But he pleaded with the court that he's a first-time offender, that the court should temper justice with mercy. And the court sentenced him to 15 years in prison and remanded him in the custody of the DSS because he has 31 charges pending against him. So we also have other cases. The DSS also filed 6 charges against 9 terror suspects. Among the 9 suspects, we have 2 persons who are accused of carrying out the Yawata attack in Benue State. Also 2 other persons who are accused of having a reprisal attacks concerning that Yawata incident. And we have 5 suspected gun runners who had connections one way or the other of supplying arms and ammunition. And we've also seen that the DSS
absolutely,
has also
Celestina, I know that you are detailing for us all of this progress being made by security agencies in prosecuting suspected terrorists. But I just wanted to ask you particularly about this one, the one that we're talking about now, which is that of the Ansaru leaders who attacked the UN building. Some people have attributed it to the case against Simon Ekpa in Finland. Do they have any correlation at all?
Okay, well, the case of Simon Ekpa in Finland got expeditious treatment, which is within the space of 6 months or thereabout, the case was decided. So that had nothing to do with what we are seeing today, because before now, all these cases have been in court. Most of the time is just because of the nature of the case, they don't really get the publicity, because some of the cases are being done with the witness being shielded or the defendants being shielded because of the sensitivity and the security importance of the case, like that of Ahmed Usman, and also that of Al-Barnawi. Applications were made for the witness to be shielded, and also for the defendants that will come and testify. The defendants in the case should be shielded from the court. So all of these cases, when we don't really see what is going on, we only hear. Most of them are not being reported. But that of Finland is commendable, but Nigeria as a country is also trying its best, and we're doing that before now.
Thank you so much for that update and for the clarification, senior reporter Celestina Iria.